Hello YouTubers, Troz here, playing more Kerbal Space Quera. Now I know version 0.23 came out today, or maybe yesterday by the time this gets posted, but I'd like to finish off my career mode here. Basically have one main mission that's going on, the probe here, heading out to Jool. And it's only been a few days since it launched. We went to Minmus and then to the moon. But while this is flying, I think we can fast forward here. I did have a maneuver planned, but I think that got lost. Let's get that out of the way here. So while we're all the way out here, if we burn a bit, we should be able to get an encounter. So what I would like to do is actually arrow break. Yep. So I want to get that pretty low, and at this point, it's actually going to be pretty hard to get the low. I'm basically just trying the different controls until you stop getting any lower, and trying a different one. So that stopped getting lower. Let's see if this will work. Ooh. Whoa! Trying not to go too quickly. Seems to be working again. Three, 2. Oh wow. Oh, that's even closer than I wanted to get. Try about 125. Done arrow breaking at Jool once before, and I basically overdid it. Oh, no. That was when I was going to the Kraken. I actually did manage to get to the Kraken, but I used a whole lot more fuel, and never did manage to return. Barest of touches here. $51. 134. That will be good enough to aim at. It's a decent burn. Almost 1,000 meters per second. And it's 300 days away. We have SAS on right now. But we also have our panels out. And these two panels here that are vertical will basically be able to track and face the sun. So we shouldn't have any problems with power, even with SAS on. If we do run into power problems, it's going to be pretty disastrous, but hopefully that won't be the case. So let's we're all the way here. Now our solar panels will be like half as effective when we do get all the way out there in 300 days. That's another problem. Because we did save, I kind of forgot how powerful our engines are. With these 3 nuclear engines, and we do have a lot of mass. 945 is going to be a pretty long burn, I think. But I'll stop like a day in advance and then power up the engines. Yeah, so we're going to be coming around. We'll do a burn that will send us out almost to Dres's orbit. Well, I guess in. We'll bring our periapsis maybe 3/4 of the way out towards Dres's orbit. And as we come back around, we'll then encounter Jool. And hopefully aero braking at that point into a... I'd like a very elliptical orbit passing by most of the moons, so then we can launch different probes towards different moons. In fact, actually, I'd like to get the main ship almost in orbit, or passing by those moons, so then all we have to do is brake with the little probe. We won't have to actually thrust towards a new orbit. Alright, so let's fast forward here. And then even 1000x, it's not really that quick. Even 10,000x is only about an hour a second or so. Maybe 2-3 hours a second. Not that quick. Gonna be a long time. So let's here we go. Let's see the tracking the sun as we go. Even at full warp, this is taking quite a while. Only 100 days have passed so far of our 300 as of now. And as we get further and further, we'll be slowing down. There's Jool, the velocity of about 4,300 meters per second. And we're not going even that fast. We are just past 3,000 meters per second and slowing down. And we're approaching 100 days left until the burn. We've passed Jool's orbit, and we continue to slow down. 75 days left to burn. About 50 days left. I'm going to have to flip the ship around because we're going to be pointing retrograde here, just about. About 30 days left to burn. Going to slow up to almost 2,000 meters per second, about half of Jool's speed, and let's start slowing down our time warp here. Three days until burn. Two days until burn. Approximately 1 day until burn. We are now going to orient ourselves and test fire the engines. Make sure they are still operable after all this time being shut down. So let's flip around here. We're almost directly prograde, and then the slight angle will hopefully correct for our inclination compared to Jool's orbit and get us the nice close encounter that we need. Alright, at this point I am going to briefly throttle up to full and then cut the engines just so we get our estimate burn time correct. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's like a 6.5 minute burn. These engines can only run though at like 95% without completely overheating. So let's say it's going to be an 8-minute burn total. So I need to start about 4 minutes early. There's our ship. There's the sun. Pretty far off. We're only getting about 9 energy, where I know these can do either 14 or 16. Near Kerbal, that's why we have extra panels up here, these small ones, and need to have redundancies and extra power. Let's see if we get any different science all the way out here. Doesn't really look like it. And, you know, I don't need to be that all. I can actually, can I, or do I need a... Well, it looks like they'll get transmitted at some point. Not at the moment. We're gonna fast forward a bit here. Close 30 minutes from burn. Alright, we're about a minute from the start of the burn. Everything appears nominal. We are pretty much directly on our target direction. We got plenty of fuel. The engines worked in our test, so there's nothing really left to do except perform the burn. I'm going to start the burn in this view, but probably going to carry out most of it in the map view. I just want to, make sure the engines aren't overheating. So I'll probably spend a minute or two here to make sure the temperature stabilizes. And we're going to start in about 10 seconds here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, throttling up, go. Yeah, right at 95% there. Alright, temperature's coming up. Hopefully it will stop. I don't want it more than half. Just have to throttle down a notch. to see it down a little bit. We go down slightly more, so we're like 2 notches down. Alright, temperature's coming down a little. That's what I want to see. We're going to go to map view. And while we're over here, the thing to watch is the Jool encounter. And we're going to adjust this to make sure we're always directly on that point. I'd like to be as accurate as possible. I probably don't have to be completely accurate, because as we approach Jool, we can do another small burn. To get us orbiting. Because I'm actually, at this point, I don't even know which way I'll be orbiting around Jool. I definitely want to be orbiting the correct way. Which is generally counterclockwise, the direction that all the bodies orbit. So if I'm going the wrong way, it just means extra thrust trying to break into landing. We're actually doing better than I thought. What was that? That was just a sound glitch that occurs occasionally. Everything looks fine. Heat is, oh, it's a little under half. Half our burn is done, approximately. And, we're doing a little better than I thought. It's slightly down, I think. We're still looking pretty good on the mark. Maybe slightly left and slightly up. — 400 meters per second still to go, and we're gonna end a little early. That's okay. I mean, we're so far being, you know, slightly off one way or other isn't really going to affect our plan. So our plan is so long term. Going to be about another 300 days, maybe even more, probably maybe closer to 400, because we got a longer orbit now. I have a RCS system on here. Yeah, plenty of RCS. I remember correctly. So we'll probably get this down to within a meter per second or so, and then fine-tune with RCS. That's the wrong way. There we go, right on the mark. Alright, we're getting close. We're on about a 33 billion kilometer. We're at 28. 50 meters per second to go. About another minute of burning. Coming off the mark a bit. Alright, just waiting for the periapsis to appear over here. Meters per second to go. Alright, got that flag up. That is great. So 5 meters per second to go. 2. Alright, let's turn on RCS. Actually, before we do, let's... I'm gonna call that good. $160. That should be easily. I think that's just outside the atmosphere, but that'll be easily correctable into the atmosphere and or onto the other side of Jool. And yeah, that's 1 year, 321 days away. So that's it's quite a ways away. Let's head back to the Space Center. Alrighty, here we are back at the Space Center, and in the almost year that it took to do that burn, or to get to the point to do the burn, Kerbals weren't just sitting here doing nothing. They have a bunch of science, and this kind of trip to Jool is probably one of the biggest undertakings in space. So maybe while that was happening, they were working on some aerodynamics. So there's a bunch of parts here that I've neglected, but we have plenty of science, so let's unlock some of the aerodynamics, and we do have the nose cone, so we can do a flight around and use that, since we haven't really. Advanced landing, look at that. Those maybe would have helped the previous mission. Only 160 science. Some supersonic flight here. Also 160. High altitude flight. That looks like it'll be fun. For 300. Got some rover wheels. Haven't really used a rover. Let's do some of these aerodynamic parts. Ooh, aero spike. That's 500 though. Pretty sure that this tier is the last tier of tech, so I have almost everything unlocked. Let's just get these wheels here for another 300. And, those might be better probes than the one we have, but I don't think we'll be needing a probe right now. I'll just get these. And, it's almost everything. There's probably one off of here. But we don't have enough science for that. So let's go back and we'll be back in a few minutes here. Well, a few minutes for me, just a few seconds for you, and we'll see what the Kerbals can design airplane-wise, and we'll fly around and do some science with that nose cone. See how that goes. Back in, well, just a few seconds. See you then. Alrighty, here we have the latest aeronautical developments of Kerbal Space Center. It's the Science by Air V2, because I actually did a test flight and made a few corrections. Basically, I added a battery and some solar panels. Now, the engines are going to probably generate enough electricity, but I just wanted the solar panels just to be safe. And the battery, just because we're going to be doing some science and broadcasting. We got a little antenna here. So I didn't want to run out of electricity, because I believe the capsules only hold 50. And with all the science experiments, that's not going to be enough for a full transmission. We got 2 normal engines and 1 high-altitude engine. With this, we should be able to get up pretty high and get going pretty fast. The reason I do the high altitude engines actually need more air. So if you have a pair of them, one will probably flame out before the other and cause a spin. The low altitude engines actually need less air. Now they'll give you very little thrust, but the high altitude engine will flame out first, and because it's central, it won't impart a spin. And so if it flames out, I know I just need to nose down and get a little more air before these flame out, because if low altitudes flame out, then we'll go into a spin, and that wouldn't be good. Basically, the test flight showed this to be a pretty stable craft. I have the center of lift behind the center of mass, and the one thing I do is this front fuel tank here I do set to not drain fuel from, so to prevent the center of mass from going back too far as we use up fuel. We actually tend to use the fuel in the side little fuel pods first. I do have pipes so that the fuel between the center and the sides will be shared. I don't know why these hooked up that way, but that's the closest I could get. They are attached to the wingtip there. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. But yeah, I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to protect the engine from being knocked off. And I do just have this girder here to pr it's pretty close. It looks like it almost barely drags. You can see the wheels are just below the girder's height. But basically, I do have all science on here. I'm probably not going to be sending a lot of it, just mostly the atmospheric. And I'm probably going to be fast forwarding a lot in this flight. I want to hit a few different biomes, and I think I can hit 4 or maybe 5. But the one's going to be a pretty long. We'll see how this goes. I'll probably be fast forwarding after the fact, not like using. Well, I'll probably use a bit of time warp fast forward, but I'll probably actually just speed up the video at the end. So let's get ready to launch. We're gonna have our expert test pilot, Jebediah, I believe. Alrighty, here we are. Yeah, you can see that girder is. It actually may be hitting the ground. Let's put on the brakes here for a second and just get some vehicle info. We got 65 parts and a little under 15 tons, or a little over 14. Alrighty. So let's. No fuel drain from there. Let's throttle up. Oh. Start the engines, release the brakes, and I do have toggle off the high altitude engine during takeoff. And let's turn on SES so we don't happen to try to keep going straight down the runway. It looks like we're kind of glued to the runway. I did try to, the wings are angled up, which is supposed to help with that. Let's just get ready to... Alright, let's pull up. Raise the gear. And we're actually doing pretty nicely. Let's hit some science. Material study. See how this... We don't need atmospheric pressure. Temperature is not really going to give us much. Atmospheric analysis. But I bet that's going to use a lot of power. And we don't need goo. So this, going to transmit. Alright, it's transmitting. Don't need pressure. There we go. Alright, meanwhile, I want to, yeah, that's this running out of charge. This might have the battery. You're supposed to use the battery power. Alright, we want to head towards those mountains. So let's turn around here. Turn too well, but it is pretty stable. You can see it's not really causing it doesn't turn fast, but it's turns stably and it doesn't really wobble around much. let's turn on the high altitude engine. Maybe help with generating power. Alright, so that was over the water. I'd like to do one over the grasslands, but I want to do one over the mountains. The mountains aren't that big. I know there's more grasslands on the other side, I believe. I'm not sure we'll have a full charge enough time before we can get to the mountains. Let's see how high we can go. Climb rate over 100 meters per second. Alright, we're losing thrust from these engines, but that one's doing good. Level off about here. Should be picking up speed now. Alright, these are really losing thrust. We are fully charged. Let's it's grasslands. I want to get highlands. Here we go. Another 140 science. Oh, we're starting to get re-entry effects here. Going over 700 meters a second. Almost finished the upload from the Highlands. And I'm turning over this way. I believe this counts as desert. harder to control at these higher altitudes, but doing alright. And we're recharging the battery. Where's the sun? Oh, it's directly above us. There it is. Alright, we're just about recharged. And let's do another atmospheric analysis. It's grasslands. I guess we need to wait for this to get yellower. There we go, deserts. We'll broadcast that. Meanwhile, we'll turn and head north. One, you want to turn. That, well, material study was worth. No, not the material study. Atmospheric. Alright, grasslands. We'll take that. Alright, there's about one more biome, really. Well, besides shore where KSP is. And that's the poles. So I think I'm gonna fast forward here and try to get to the North Pole. Because we're well, we're nowhere close. But we're heading north, and let's see if we can get there. I think we may have the fuel. Nose up, we can get high and get fast. Alright, we had the engine flame out. Alright, slow down to 1 times warp. Need to adjust my heading here. And the aircraft's getting a bit harder to control because the center of mass has back a bit. But as soon as these tanks are empty and that one starts emptying, we'll be doing a bit better. Alright, so we'll turn here. really as nice as I wanted. But we've dropped down in altitude. We should now be... I want to try to not stay over land. Or, not stay over water, stay over land. Not... So if we do run into trouble, we can land at any time. I want to get back high and fast and preserve fuel, because I'm starting to run a little low. Alright. It's looking good. Gonna go back to warp. Okay, I'm out of warp. Our engines, our central engine, flamed out. So I cut the engines. I'm just gonna glide here over the ice sheet, take some science, and then head back. Oh yeah, engines are totally out now. I'm gonna actually turn. I don't want to go too past 10,000. In fact, alright. Let's be able to do that without spinning. Really, when I'm up that high, these are just wasting fuel. Trying to nose up again. Alright. And, looks like we're over the ice sheet now. Let's broadcast that. And let's head home. I want to be heading roughly south, but not exactly sure the exact direction. This will be a good start, though. Alright, let's get high and fast again. And hope our fuel lasts. We're not really going real fast, because now with one engine we don't have that much thrust. But once you do get high and the atmosphere thins out, we'll be able to get speed pretty good. Gonna level out about 1400. $14,000, I should say. Alright, we are really high and really fast. And we're starting to drop a little, but that's fine. Going 1.5 kilometers a second. And we're going roughly the right direction. Really fuel efficient now. Even touch anything, we're starting to head back up just because of our speed. Don't want the intake air to get down below 0.8 though. Oh! Alright, apparently it's 0.13. How are we looking? Actually head a little west. Little fight from the plane. Trying to nose up. Had a little, whoa. I think those are the islands. That should be Kerbal Space Center. Alrighty. Yeah, that is our destination. Gonna come out of warp. I'm gonna want to head lower. Discard, discard, discard. Alright, looks like we got shores already. So. onto a sweeping right turn. Probably started a little too early. That first mission landing marker is almost lined up. With the end of the runway. There we go. Come on. Turn. So I'm flying over back towards it and then turn towards the runway. Low. Alright, we're heading towards the runway now. Yeah, that's almost perfect. Nose up, we don't want to get too low. Don't want to get too high either. It off to the side. Come on. Get back. Not sure what that was. There. Oh, we took off. Well, we touched down on the runway. This brakes. We lost the girder and engine, but otherwise we're intact. May need a slight redesign in the future. The handle landing's better. Maybe extra wheels down here, but that will hurt our upward angle stance. But yeah, we made it to a whole bunch of biomes. Good flying, Jeb. Let's recover the vehicle. Okay. That's not really as much science as I expected. But, hey, it's some science. I guess next time we'll continue the probe mission. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.